Hi everyone, I wanted to take a couple minutes to show you what I've got rigged up in my honey house now. So what I'm up to now is I want to blend and transfer honey over to where I can bottle it. So I've rigged up this manifold. I'm pulling out of 2 barrels at one time, going through my max end honey pump, and I've got the pump sitting on the barrel. And incidentally, I had to make this as short as possible. This pump works so good I had like a foot long piece on here and it actually collapsed it. So I had to make this as short as possible to hold that open to where it'll transfer through. So as we continue up the line, I got a chain support there coming off the ceiling. And then I got another chain rig here, and I've got another manifold here. I've got this split back open to 1.5 inches on each side. And I've got 2 1-gallon paint strainers, and then on the outside of that I got 2 5-gallon paint strainers. So I'm filling this 100-gallon stainless steel tank that I've been using for years. As you can see, it's getting about 1/4 of the way full. And if this cleans the honey good enough, I'll be able to skip this part. But what we're going to do today is fill this up and do some test bottling out of it. And if it's as clean as we want to be, we can go on to the bottling tank over here. And I'll move it over here, and I can lower this down and just turn the switch on and fill my bottling tank up without ever touching a 5-gallon bucket. But if it still needs a little bit more straining, then I'll put a filter in a 5-gallon bucket there and strain it, and then put it into the bottling tank. So far this is working pretty good, and I really like this. This is a whole lot easier. We've had this pumping here about 15-20 minutes, so it's doing a really good job. You may notice my floor is not pretty and white as it was, and there's a reason behind that. This is a small metal building, and right there along the floor it started giving way, so I had to move 4 of these barrels out to get some weight out of here. And once I get some of this sold, I'll get back over there and shore that up. I'm seriously considering going ahead and making plans and trying to build me an actual honey house with concrete. If I'm going to do these drums, I need concrete to work on. I'm just really getting too big for this small building anymore, and a bigger structure will definitely make our job easier and more efficient and easier to clean. So I wound up taking all the flooring out. It was 15 years old. It was starting to break up. It was the 1-foot square things like you'll see in a hospital floor. But we're kind of just trying to get this to get by until I can get a good bit of my honey bottled up and sold. I have quite a few people waiting, and then once the rush on the honey slows down, then I can take the time and shore that up properly. But so far I'm well pleased with how this setup is working. Very impressed with the max end honey pump. It pulls a good vacuum, and I knew when I was taking my stuff apart and I closed the valve that I had on my clarifier, and it collapsed the pipe due to the vacuum, and I knew I'd be able to pull it out of the barrels when I saw that. So very pleased with that. The honey is very clean. The way I strained it through that kitchen sink strainer and then through the honey clarifier, that worked very well. I really like that setup. So after bottling up about 50 gallons this morning, we quickly determined that we didn't need to strain it additionally. So this is going to be the final setup. Basically, I will sit right here, bottle honey. Got the switch to the motor right here, motor up here pumping out of those tanks, and then we're going up and over into the strainers directly into the bottling tank. So as you can see, this will involve no 5-gallon buckets, and this is exactly what I'm looking for. So here's kind of the specs on my manifold. I got 1-inch pipe coming up out of each drum, which equals the diameter of the input and output pipe on the actual pump itself. I'm pulling up out of the drum with 2 1-inch pipes, and then increase it to 1.5 inches from here to here. That reduces the restriction of the honey and lets it flow easier. And then once I get here, I reduce back down to 1 inch where it can flow through the pump. Then I go back to 1.5 inches to reduce the restriction, and it flows wonderfully. And then I keep it 1.5 inches all the way through where it falls out into the strainer bags. So there it is, just a brief look at what I'm doing today, and we're fixing to start bottling and selling product to the public. Got quite a few people that are anxiously waiting this honey. and I appreciate their patience. As you can see, this is dramatically different than what we done last year. Well, I appreciate you joining for this video today, and we'll catch you on the next one.